Back in the day, I have my dad and my uncle all were like big time car guys. They'd work on their own car. My uncle was a mechanic. My dad was a wannabe mechanic. And what they would do back then is their garages and the sides of the house would be full of pans of oil, or sometimes it would just be dumped somewhere like the storm drain. And so these are things that can cause issues with the environment. It's not like it just goes away. So not only is it oil, but it's used motor oil, having gone through your engine several times. Here to talk about a program, because you're not supposed to do that, by the way. Don't leave, if you change your own motor oil, don't just leave it around or dump it in the storm drain or dump it into your yard. Santa Clarita, the City of Santa Clarita has a program here to talk about it, the project coordinator for the Department of Public Works. Mark, Patti, welcome to the Hometown Morning Show.
Thank you for having me today.
Now, you've been doing this for I believe, several years now. A used motor oil program that the City of Santa Clarita sponsors, and it's a way, if you are the type to change your own oil, or you're a motorhead that likes to do that stuff, that rather than dumping it somewhere where it doesn't belong or leaving it collecting around your garage or the sides of your house, that you do have a place that it can go and be recycled.
Absolutely. The City of Santa Clarita has been receiving some grant funding from CalRecycle, which is a state department, for the last 20 years. And we've been getting the word out to all the residents about the proper way to get rid of your oil. So you don't just dump it in a storm drain like you were saying earlier, or somewhere, or storing it in your garage. We want people to get rid of it the right way and get that material recycled, because oil doesn't wear out. It just gets dirty in your car, so it can be reconditioned. It can have all the additives that the oil companies put into that oil to lubricate your engines. That can all be put back in there, so we want to promote that. And I just wanted to share a statistic with everybody. We, as the do-it-yourselfers, the car enthusiasts, the people that work on their cars on themselves, in Santa Clarita recycled over 27,000 gallons of motor oil last year on their own. So there's a significant amount out there. I mean, that doesn't even include the people that take it, to Auto Row and take it back to the dealer, or Pep Boys, or one of those places that just has their motor oil recycled, when they just take their car in the regular way. But a lot of car enthusiasts and people, they change the oil on their motor homes and all their recreational vehicles, their boats, that kind of thing. That counts too. It's all the same oil.
As this is a situation, as you say, it doesn't go away. And do you have any? What kind of, in a nutshell, what does it do to the environment when you dump it into the ground? It doesn't just go away or seep in and
Right.
eventually wear itself out, right? What can it do? How can it harm the environment when it comes to that sort of thing?
Well, if you dump it in the street, it goes into a storm drain, and those storm drains do not filter any of the oil out. The oil just goes right to the river, to the Santa Clara River here in Santa Clarita. Or if it seeps into the ground, just like our rain, it recharges our aquifers underground. So that oil gets into our drinking water. So you don't want it to get into the river, which is part of our drinking water, and you don't want it to get into our aquifers underground, because that's part of our drinking water. So, and there's chemicals in there. It's not just the petroleum. There's other things that are added in there to help, like I said earlier, to lubricate your engine and that kind of thing. So we don't want all that stuff in there.
Of course. So for anyone who thinks that you're just someone else's problem type thing by dumping it and doing something else, it actually does come back to haunt you in
Correct.
one way or another. We don't just get all of our water from the Owens Valley. We actually do use our aquifers here in the city too. So as part of this program, I know that you've got information on a website where there are used motor oil collection centers, and a lot of them, if I can do some quick math, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's about almost 30 different places here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Where can they find that information?
They can go to greensantaclarita.com. It's a city website, and we have lots of information about all our recycling programs, but there's a tab along the top, and it says residents, and it's a drop-down tab. So you can click on that, and you can get information about our household hazardous waste program, which includes used motor oil, and then also our other recycling programs.
And that's good. I've been to that site several times. You have all kinds of great information, because it's really important. I mean, there's a lot of debates going on about the effect on the environment, but even still locally, these things, whether or not it's a global type of thing, even still your local environment and your local pollution can be affected, or your local cleanliness, by our own individual actions and what we do. So
Absolutely.
It's not just necessarily whether or not it's some sort of debate on the big picture. We got to still think locally as well.
Yes,
and that's really important. So how long has this program been in effect?
We've been doing this program for about 20 years. I haven't been with the city for 20 years, but about half that amount of time. But the city's been receiving grant money and using that money to promote these programs, promote these free certified collection centers, which I do want to mention. Like you said, there's about 30 in the city, and those places include places like Craig and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores or Pep Boys. A lot of the dealerships on Creekside, they'll take oil back for free. It's just a matter of going to the website, looking for one of those locations that's near where you live, and give them a phone call, and then find out what their operating hours are, and then you can bring in motor oil. We recommend that you bring it in. You bring it in like a plastic jug that's not leaking, and they'll take it, and they usually have a reservoir, and they'll just dump that oil in the reservoir, and then you go about your way, and there's no charge for it.
Yeah, it looks like taking a look at the list, there's pretty much hits all the points here in the Santa Clarita Valley, which is good from Newhall to Canyon Country to Valencia and back, so, and Saugus as well. So this is outstanding. You can also call the number 1-888-CLEAN-LA for more information as well. Mark, thank you so much for stopping by and talking about this program. I think it's really important, especially for those who still have the as I call them, petroleum burning marvels of 19th century technology, that it's important to do the right thing with this type of stuff. So thanks so much for stopping by and telling us about it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Time is 8:15. We'll be back with more after this.
I've been into cars ever since I was 6 years old. I helped my dad build race cars in our driveway.
Dave Reeves, owner of Reeves Complete Auto Center.
I love cars. I've been